Buenos dias from Guadalajara, Mexico. We've just taken the bus from the historical center of Guadalajara to the very far end of the bus lane. This is the Independence Lookout Park, or Parque Mirador Independencia. We came to the zoo in this area last week, and from the edge of the zoo you could see this park, and the view from there looked incredible. So we thought, gotta come back here. I'm sure there's hikes around. So yeah, we decided to take the bus back out to the end of the line here where this park is, and I think we might be able to find a hike, but if not, we're gonna have some amazing views of the valley anyway. Here's a statue of Miguel Hidalgo again. Guadalajara sure does love him, as does the rest of Mexico, I'm sure. He abolished slavery here in the city and for all of Mexico way back in 1810, which is super progressive. One of the first countries to do so, I'm pretty sure. All right, here's our first look at the view. Amazing so far. There's this whole area with a stage. I'm not sure what happens here ever, but it's a great way to enjoy the view. This is mid-April, so from what I understand, the rain will start at the end of May or beginning of June, so it's quite brown and dry at the moment in Guadalajara, but I have seen photos of this looking very green. We have a tour guide. He will show us the way to the hike. Why is this part shaped like this?
I mean, people were breaking in.
But like, it's a public park. Lots of locks. That is a mystery. The dog has abandoned us for the picnic goers. It's a lovely area. On a Sunday morning, I expected it to be a lot busier, but very quiet and peaceful. This guy has a snack stand set up. It's raking it in. People are starting to arrive. We've abandoned our search for the start of that hike. Weren't seeing any paths anywhere, and even on Google Maps we couldn't really find anything. So we just ended up staying in the park, enjoying the view, sipping our water, and now we're about to walk back through the town in search of a cafe, or if it gets late enough by the time we find one, even lunch. Oh, there's no one in here. Maybe it's too small. Yeah. I guess we could go in. All of the statues and paintings and stuff in there were covered over for some reason. Not sure why they would do that. Seems like a very, very old chapel though. With a newish looking bell. Huh. But there's also no mass going on a Sunday at noon. So not really in use, I guess.
So I have a very hearty Hugo Verde. What have you got, honey?
A frappe caramel.
Does look good.
Really jealous.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have a sip when I stop recording.
We found an amazing restaurant just off of the main street. It's so inexpensive and gorgeous. This is awesome. I'm very pleased.
Next to a 300-year-old church.
Yeah. $99 pesos. How much was your burger?
105.
Very inexpensive for food like this. What an excellent restaurant find. It's called Abuelos, which I think is grandparents. Grandparents coffee, yes. Excellent ambiance, tasty food, and really good prices. So what more could you want? And it seems to be kind of in an unexpected area, actually. Right across from this church, so we were having fun people watching, people coming and going from Mass. Saw an interesting procession, actually. They came from that other old church that we went inside earlier and took the Christ statue from in there, and there was like a procession moving it to the other newer church. So not sure what that was about, but very interesting. Also, people are going around with like palm fronds, like leaves. I don't know. I'm not sure what that's all about. We pretty much missed the hike, but the viewpoint was really awesome to see anyway. One thing that I always really admire about Mexicans is how community-oriented and family-oriented they all seem to be. Like, we've noticed a lot on evenings and weekends, there's always like big groups of family hanging out in the public parks. They'll all go out to the zoos or some attraction or whatever, like big groups of people hanging out together in their spare time, which is not something that you see super often in Canada where I'm from. But every time we go into a public park somewhere in Mexico, we're seeing a big family birthday party, like probably 3 or 4 every time we go to one. Just big groups of people all hanging out together. Sometimes we'll see people dancing, skateboarding. We've seen people doing rap battles, dance-offs, all sorts of things. People just hanging out together in their spare time, outside, doing random things together. So that's something that I really admire about Mexican culture. Now we're just waiting to get back on the bus to go back to the main historical center. As we were walking back from the park, we kind of stumbled off the main street a few blocks in and happened to find that really lovely neighborhood with that restaurant. And we were just overlooking the church, so that was all really nice surprise. Kind of an off the beaten path, local thing to do in Guadalajara.